Did you know that back then shoujo animes or even mangas used to be adapted into games? If you didn't know, same. When I first discovered that some of this anime actually had games, I was completely shocked. I literally went, "What? They have a game?" And I didn't know? Okay, be honest, did you guys know this or am I just late to the party? What I mean is, these titles were originally anime or manga that later became games. That's totally different from series like Amnesia, Brothers Conflict, or Diabolic Lovers, which started out as games and then got anime adaptations. Back then, we actually had games based on shoujo romance anime or manga, focusing on story, friendships, and characters. And now, we rarely, if ever, see that happen anymore. If anything does get adapted, it's usually some mega popular shonen title instead. It feels like such a shame we don't have this era anymore, and honestly, I miss it too. So when I stumbled across these games, I was like, OMG, this really happened? Take us back to this era, please. I mean, just imagine you guys if your favorite shoujo romance anime or manga got adapted into a game. I already have a few titles on my list. That's why I made this video as a little love letter to that era, to the industry, and for you guys who also miss those days and want to reminisce with me. So, take my hand and let's walk back down memory lane together. Heartflop Excel, romance meets Nihongo. Before that, if you love visual novel story-rich or otome games, or if you want to learn Japanese with otome games and experience some heart-fluffy romance, I suggest you to subscribe to this channel because you are in the right place. Oh, by the way, before we jump in, I just want to let you guys know all of these games are in Japanese. Yep, back then, they were released exclusively in Japan. But since most of them are set in school, the Japanese is pretty beginner friendly and some even include furigana. Now let's start with some of the classic heartwarming shoujo games. You know, the ones that feel super cozy and full of those soft everyday romance moments. They're simple, sweet, and give you that warm nostalgic feeling. And if we're talking about that kind of vibe, one of the most popular titles would be Kimi ni Todoke. Yes, this anime has a game and it shocked me too. Honestly, discovering this game is what inspired me to make this video in the first place, because I know most of you probably didn't even know this game exists or that other anime I'm about to mention. The story is exactly the same as the anime. It follows Sawako, a high school girl nicknamed Sadako, because of her eerie appearance reminds people of the ghost from the Ring movie. I don't know if you have watched that movie, I haven't, but I do know what that ghost looks like, and it's scary. In the game, you play as Sawako as she navigates friendships and slowly finds love with the help of her kind classmate Kasehaya. There are actually two games for this series, Kimi ni Todoke Sodateru Omoi and the sequel, Kimi ni Todoke Tsutaira Kimochi. The second game continues the story in Sawako's second year of high school, where she and Kasehaya finally start dating. Just witnessing this and playing as Sawako is such an incredible experience. So, what do you actually do in this game? Is it just reading the story and finish? Nope. Not at all. The gameplay revolves around Sawako writing plans in her diary about how to make friends. So cute! There's a list of tasks you can complete to get closer to your friends and to Kasehaya. You unlock these tasks by having conversations with other characters, and I love how the game clearly tells you which tasks you need to do to trigger certain events. So you're not stressed out trying to figure out which choices unlock what. To sell events, you plant seeds in your friends' plans. And the sequel's gameplay is pretty similar but expands a bit more, especially since there are more characters to meet. It's chill but surprisingly brilliant. It really lets you feel what it's like to be Sawako and makes the world feel so immersive and magical because you see everything from her perspective. And you can tell the developers poured love into this game. They even included Sawako's voice actress, which makes everything feel even more special. The expressions, the CG, and the details, everything is so good. Now, let's move on to the next game adapted from a manga, Tsukide Suzuki-kun. This is one of my favorite manga ever. It still holds a special place in my heart. I think it was actually my very first shoujo manga. I read it back in elementary school when a friend lent it to me, and seeing those lovey-dovey junior hike scenes made me go, okay, I get it. Very vague reaction, Elsh. Honestly, it surprised me a lot since stuff like that wasn't common in my country. If you don't know the story, it's about 4 classmates just starting junior high: Sayaka, Hikaru, Chihiro, and Shinobu. On the first day of school, Hikaru sees Sayaka performing lines from a drama on the rooftop, and he can't take his eyes off her. Hikaru starts to like Sayaka, but his longtime friend Chihiro secretly likes Hikaru. And Sayaka and Chihiro are friends. So yeah, complicated. Meanwhile, Shinobu, no relation to Hikaru, they just share a last name by the way, starts falling for Chihiro. The manga follows these 4 as they sort out their feelings throughout junior high, and by their last year at age 15, they all part ways for certain reasons. When they reunite at 17 during high school, everything has changed and they can go back to how things used to be. It's a messy love square, but I love it back then, especially the second couple, Shinobu and Chihiro. I always waited for their scenes, even though they didn't get as much focus. Kinda sad that they're not the main couple. The game is called Tsukide Suzuki-kun, Yonnin no Suzuki-kun. You can choose to play as either Chihiro or Sayaka. It follows an original side story, not in the manga, where the main cast visits a vacation villa during summer break and encounter 2 other Suzukis. From what I've seen, it's purely visual novel, no big gameplay systems, but it adds an extra story for fans who want more content. Maybe that includes me. Though personally, I love their high school story more because it feels more mature. Also, because Shinobu is hotter there. Honestly, if they had followed the original manga storyline, I think the game could have had more interesting gameplay. Imagine including Sayaka's acting practice or the basketball matches. Yep, both Suzukis are basketball players. Or showing how relationships gradually develop and affection increases. Like what the Kimi ni Todoke game did. That would have been so fun, especially with all the unseen conflict between the 2 couples. That tension is what made me so immersed into the manga back then. Alright, moving on, let's talk about another classic shoujo title with pure 90s vibes, Marmalade Boy. I'm honestly not sure if I have read the manga. I remember reading something with this exact art style, but I can't say for sure if it was Marmalade Boy or just something that looked really similar. The couple designs definitely ring a bell though. Just like Kimi ni Todoke, this started as a manga, then got an anime, and eventually its own game. From what I've seen, this anime is really popular in the shoujo community. The story follows Koishikawa Miki, whose life is completely flipped upside down when her parents decide to divorce and swap partners with another couple. I repeat, another couple, the Matsura family. Both families even move into the same house together. So yeah, Miki suddenly ends up with 2 new step-parents. Things get even messier when Miki starts feeling torn between Matsura Yu, the son of Matsura family, her childhood friend, and former crush Suo Ginta. And just to complicate things, Yu's ex-girlfriend shows up. Just reading this synopsis, I was like, bruh, this story is wild. What was the author thinking when they wrote this? But I can't lie, it really piqued my interest. I wanted to see how it all plays out. The game follows the anime's plot. You will play as Miki and can actually choose between three love interests: Yu, Suo, or Tsuchiyake, Miki's coworker. So, unlike the anime where Miki only ends up with you, the game lets you pick your route. Perfect if you had second lead syndrome watching the show. It's definitely an old game. It came out before I was even born, but despite that, the fandom is still growing strong. In fact, I recently found out that after 26 years, fans have been working on an English patch for this game. That is some serious dedication. If you're a longtime Marmalade Boy fan, well, drop that's me in the comments. After Tsukide Suzuki-kun, I was so captivated by Ikeyamada-go's art that I decided to check out her other works. And that's how I found Uasa no Midori-kun. Like her other series, it's full of romance, sports, and of course the classic Shoujo love triangle, because what's a Shoujo manga without one, right? The story follows Yamate Midori, a 15-year-old tomboy who meets Hino Tsukasa, a boy visiting her island for the holidays. He teaches her soccer and she falls in love with both the sport and him. Inspired by Tsukasa, Midori keeps playing soccer, hoping they will meet again someday. But when they finally do, Tsukasa does something unforgivable. Seriously, I still can forgive him, which shatters her trust. He's that typical bad boy character with at least some good brain in there, I guess. Determined to beat Tsukasa on the soccer field, Midori enrolls in an all-boys high school. Honestly, I didn't really like this story that much. Even though Tsukasa is technically the second lead, which shocked me, he keeps popping out everywhere and hogging scenes with Midori. Meanwhile, the actual main lead, Kazuma, doesn't even feel like the main lead half the time, though I'm glad he's the endgame. What's really surprising is the game adaptation. It gives us 11 love interests, including Kazuma and Tsukasa. The first game, Uasa no Midori-kun Natsuhiro Striker, roughly follows the first few manga chapters. It's short, just 5 days of bonding with teammates and rivals before a soccer match that determines your ending. The gameplay includes fun little mini-games like soccer drills, part-time cafe work, and even dress-up. Then there's a sequel, Uasa no Midori-kun 2 Futari no Midori, which is longer, 5 months instead of 5 days, and ends with a date event depending on your chosen love interest. This time, you only get 9 romance options though. No idea what happened to the other 2 guys, they just disappeared from the options. Honestly, I can't believe this manga even got a game adaptation. Was it really that popular at that time? Apparently so. Speaking of series I didn't expect to see as a game, let's move on to Ore-sama Kingdom. I don't know much about it, but I swear I've seen its manga cover when I was a kid. Maybe I even read it, but I completely forgot. Not only did it get a manga, it also had a 14-episode OVA. The story follows Nonohara Nono, a young manga artist who just enrolled at a new school and immediately finds herself surrounded by 3 ridiculously cute guys. Naturally, she starts catching them, as any self-respecting shoujo heroine/artist will. One day in the library, those third-year students catch her drawing their faces. The comedy practically writes itself. The DS game Ore-sama Kingdom, Koi mo manga mo debut o mezase Doki Doki Love Lesson, what a long title, follows the manga closely. You play as Nono, managing her time to improve her drawing skills, complete manga projects, and build relationships. There are decision-making moments that affect how the story unfolds and how characters react to you, which is pretty cool. Then there's the 3DS game Ore-sama Kingdom, Ikemen Karashi o Getshio Moe-kyun School Days, which features a completely original story supervised by the author. In April, Nono-chan is happy to be in the same class as Kurosawa and his friends. She is so excited she falls down the stairs and loses her memory. Girl was too happy and spends the year with these handsome guys while trying to recover it. Unlike the DS version, this game used live 2D animation, making the characters move and emote realistically. And honestly, it reminds me so much of Tokimeki Memorial Girl Side 3 and 4. I was shocked to see this kind of animation already implemented during the 3DS era. If you're a fan of this series, this game is especially exciting because it gives you brand new scenarios different from the manga. This next game is just adorable. It's so cute and innocent, and I still have these vague little flashes of memory about the anime. It really stuck with me when I first saw it. I mean, it's literally a love story between 12-year-olds. Of course, it will leave quite an impression. Who else remembered this anime or its manga? Raise your hands, because it's me, it's me. The story follows two best friends, Ayase Hanabi and Aoi Yui, who both have their first brushes with love. Hanabi doesn't think highly of boys thanks to her mischievous male classmates, but her perspective changes when she paired with the kind Takao Yuto for a class assignment, and they end up sharing their first kiss on the school rooftop. Not gonna lie, that scene really caught me off guard the first time I discovered it. They're 12! Okay. Meanwhile, Yui, seeing her best friend fall in love, starts yearning for romance too. She ends up falling for the brash Yamakazuma after he steps in to defend her from a rejected suitor talking behind her back. What shocked me is that Junisai actually has 3 games. It must have been really popular back then. You can play as either Yui or Hanabi. The first game, Junisai Honto no Kimochi, features over 20 episodes, including untold side stories and plenty of heart-fluttering moments you can get in the manga or anime. School excursions, Christmas dates, school festival, shopping trips, all playable. You can even pick facial expressions for your MC to match the situation, changing how your boyfriend reacts. It's like you're finally able to see what the boys are really thinking. The second game, Junisai Koizuru Diary, continues the story. This time, your choices affect the daily events and ending. You will use an important item called the Usapan Diary, which plays a key role. The game expands into a 7-day storyline that can branch in multiple directions, so you can replay it for different outcomes. And the game boasts over 300 voice lines. I repeat, 300! That's a ton. And then there's the third game, which completely switches things up. Instead of a straight visual novel, it's a puzzle-based game set in a cute little world where you can still play as Yui, Hanabi, or a new MC, who later appears in the manga. You can pair up with your favorite love interest, mix and match unexpected couples just for fun, and even play around with different voices and costumes. Honestly, this series really spoiled its fans. And speaking of spoiled fans, it turns out Junisai wasn't the only series to get heavy game treatment. Iki Yamada-go, whose work I'd already been following, also had Kobayashi ga Kawaii Tsugite Sarai adapted into a game. This is already her third work that was adapted into game, by the way. This was actually the last work of hers I ever read. The manga follows twin siblings Kobayashi Megumu and Mitsuru, who attend different schools but end up switching places when Megumu takes Mitsuru's exams. Their cross-dressing mix-up leads them into trouble and romance. Megumu meets the mysterious fighter Sanada Aoi, while Mitsuru falls for his deaf classmate Takenaka Shino as he protects her from bullying. Meanwhile, the queen bee, Asusa, takes an interest in Mitsuru, making things even more complicated. The game, however, has an exclusive scenario written by Iki Yamada herself. Megumu gains a new love interest, Elio Falcone, a beautiful Italian boy, who becomes a rival to Aoi. The whole plot revolves around how this triangle affects Megumu and Aoi's relationship. There are also fun seasonal subplots for Halloween, Christmas, and Valentine's Day. When I first heard about this, I was like, wait, what? This is so interesting. Since the manga didn't really have a third party threatening Megumu and Aoi's bond, the idea of introducing one just for the game is actually kind of exciting. Will the relationship stay strong or could it break apart? I honestly can't even imagine them not ending up together, but I guess this game puts that love to the test. For this next part, things take a slightly different turn. The next set of games all share that fun school drama vibe. Some are lighthearted enough to make you laugh out loud, others add a dash of competition. But of course, there's always a sprinkle of romance mixed in. I'm calling this segment Fun School Drama with a little bit of twist. Kick things off, let's talk about Ouran High School Host Club. Who doesn't know this series? It's still one of the most beloved reverse harem anime ever. And yes, I absolutely got second lead syndrome here. So when I found out there was a game, my antenna practically shot straight up. You have no idea how happy I was. The story follows Fujioka Haruhi, a scholarship student at the elite Ouran Academy who accidentally breaks an expensive vase and is forced to work for the eccentric host club to repay her debt. Mistaken for a boy because of her appearance, she quickly proves herself as a talented host while keeping her true identity a secret. The club's 6 charming boys entertaining clients with theme parties already makes for an irresistible setting, and the game leans heavily into that atmosphere. There are 2 main goals. First, entertaining guests to repay Haruhi's debt. In host mode, twice a day, you choose from 6 options to best serve a guest, whether that's offering refreshments, finding a conversation topic, or simply listening. Impress them and they will request Haruhi again. Second, win over the host of your choice. Each host affection is tied directly to your choices, and the game features multiple endings depending on who you pursue. I love how immersive this gameplay feels. It really makes you part of the club. Okay, let's be real. The first thing I would do is go straight for Hikaru. Please, I need it. It's kind of wild how much impact Hikaru had on me. I legit got such bad second lead syndrome that I couldn't even keep watching the anime back then because I was so heartbroken. Because that rain scene from the anime, it hits way too hard. Sure, our melee Takami is also charming, but Hikaru's impact is just way too strong. How about you? Are you Team Hikaru or Team Takami? Don't lie, I'm watching. Or who's your favorite out of all the hosts? Tell me down below and convince me why your favorite is the best. Next up, we have Miss Princess, based on a shoujo manga I never read, but the premise is peak shoujo ridiculousness in the best way. In this world, every girl in Japan dreams of entering the Miss Princess contest, a pageant to crown the most dignified young maiden. But there's a catch. Contestants must be aged 6 to 15 and have their own butler. Yep, you read that right. Hence the butler boom sweeping the nation. Only happen in manga, right? And enter our protagonist, Himeoka Kokoro, a tomboy who dreams of winning the Miss Princess model search. After saving the president of Japan's top butler agency, she ends up with 4 handsome butlers helping her chase her goal. And yes, there's plenty of romance potential along the way. The game follows this same premise. You have 3 months to pass the preliminaries and reach the Grand Prix working on 3 key stats: culture, refinement, and sensitivity. The butler helped Kokoro improve these skills, but this isn't just about the lessons. You'll also face rival contestants, balance ambition with budding romance, and maybe even fall for one of your loyal butlers, a rare trait in games like this. The next game, Gokujo Mechamote Incho, is another manga adaptation. And wow, I still remember how obsessed I was with this series back in my puberty days. I look up to Mimi so much that I even tried following her beauty tips from the manga because I wanted to look dazzling just like her. Plus, her romance with Tojo was super cute. The story follows Kitagami Mimi, a kind and level-headed girl who strives to be the best and coolest student council president of her high school. But of course, three mischievous boys are constantly causing trouble and testing her patience. The manga shows how Mimi proves herself as a reliable president, someone who can handle her friend's problem while keeping that rebellious trio in line. Apparently, this series got 4 different games. I'm not even sure what order they are in, but honestly, it doesn't matter much because they all share the same general premise. The first one, Gokujo Mechamote Incho, Mechamote Deis Hajime Masuwa, focus on the year-end beauty contest for class representations. You play as Mimi, shaping her up over the year to win that competition. Basically, a full-on dress-up game. The next entry, Gokujo Mechamote Incho, MM Town The Miracle Change, also focus on fashion, but I personally think the graphics here are a big step up. You can explore the town and experience lots of fun side events along the way. Then there's Gokujo Mechamote Incho, Motekawa Box, where the mission is to keep classmates happy and solve their fashion problems. Still dress up heavy, but with a stronger design consultant vibe. Finally, Gokujo Mechamote Incho MM My Best Friend shifts a bit more toward friendship and daily interactions between characters. It even includes social mini-games that boost friendship points. Romance is present but light, which makes sense. After all, beauty, fashion, and style advice are the main focus of the manga, so it fits that the games would lead into that theme with lots of original scenarios you wouldn't find in the source material. Moving on to something with an entirely different flavor, Yumeiro Patissier, My Sweet Cookie. I know this anime exists, but wow, my memory completely failed me on the story, so I had to refresh myself with the synopsis. Just as the title suggests, you step into the shoes of a pastry chef. The story follows Ichigo Amano, a clumsy but cheerful girl who discovers her incredible tasting talent and enrolls at the prestigious Sainte Marie Academy to become a first-class patissier. With guidance from her sweet spirit partner Vanilla and support or rivalry from the talented sweet prince, Ichigo hones her baking skill while chasing her dream. The game adapts the same core story but adds so much more detail. Not only do you follow Ichigo's journey, but you can also dive deep into cooking minigames. Think about like Cooking Mama, but entirely focused on pastries. You'll enter baking competitions, watch the story unfold, and drool over the beautifully rendered sweets. Honestly, the visuals are so good, you'll want to eat your screen. Playing as Ichigo while learning the process of making these desserts feels incredibly immersive. And seriously, with all these delicious treats, which would you pick as your top 3? For me, it's eclair, chocolate cake, and tiramisu. I might just order some after I finish this video. Okay guys, and that is just the first half of this list. There are so many more hidden gems waiting in part 2. But for now, I really want to hear your thoughts. Why do you think this whole golden era of shoujo and romance anime games just stopped? Like, it feels like everything ended with the DS and PSP days. And if we could somehow bring it back, which anime or manga would you love to see turned into a game? Let's talk about it in the comments. I can't wait to hear your thoughts.